What's going on, everybody? My name is David Delano. We're going to be talking about sorry if I'm talking a little low here, but we're going to talk about a lot of different things here for Saturday, August 23rd, week zero of college football, Major League Baseball, dialed in on that. We also got NFL preseason and even some English Premier League soccer. Definitely appreciate it if you guys would subscribe to this channel. Many of you have never seen me wear glasses before. Recording this right now, it's about 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. Wanted to get this video out for all of you guys out there as well. I believe sometime between 1 and 3 p.m. Eastern Time today for Saturday, August 23rd. I'm supposed to be on we'll see, Sirius XM Radio Channel 159 and Sports Grid TV. You can go ahead and check me out on X at Get Sports Strong. You can also check out my Winnable page. That's winnable.com/David Delano. I'll have that in the description of this video, and I'll post the exact time when I find out where I'll be there. So have free picks on here. I'm going to go on a little bit about some of the different things going on, and I welcome you to subscribe because some of you may be aware, may not, may have seen. This was a channel I started a long time ago. Well, long is relative, and for the last 3 years, the majority of my content has been over on Winners and Winers YouTube page, and a little bit on Picks and Parlays, a YouTube page as well. At least for the time being, the free picks I'm going to be posting along with on social media are going to be mostly on this page. But beyond free picks, I also want to talk about just some different things that'll help people become better sports investors. And I know a lot of people think that it's impossible to win. It's not impossible to win long term. I'm not saying you're going to be rich, but it's not impossible to win long term, but really more so than just finding, what the pick is today or finding the parlay, which I'm not really even a big supporter on serious wagers. It's really about responsible money management habits and things like that. So before I get into any plays, as we're on week zero for college football, for those of you who want to bear with me, I'm going to kind of just give you my advice, no matter who you are, what to do and what not to do. So a lot of times when people get into this, they're wondering how much should they wager per game. And the dollar amount is relative to everyone. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make is kind of worry about how much somebody else is wagering. Honestly, it really doesn't matter whether somebody's wagering $5 or $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 or $50,000. It really doesn't matter. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. So if this is something that you want to do, which you don't have to do, but if it's something that you want to do and you want to wager, the biggest piece of advice I would say, whether all the games we talk about on this video hit or if all of them miss, the biggest thing that you want to do is come up with a bankroll. You can come up with a bankroll per sport. You can come up with a bankroll total. And really, obviously, in a perfect world, it'd be nice bankroll per sport, but I know that's hard for most people to do. So what you really want to do, have an amount of money that you're not depending on, where if you lost it all tomorrow, you wouldn't miss it. And I know that that's tough right now in these times and tough in this in this economy. But whether that's $100 for you, whether it's 500, whether it's 5,000, whether it's 500,000, and use that as your bankroll. And one of the big reasons that you want to have an amount that you're able to lose is one thing that I've noticed, one thing that's worked for me, when you start making picks out of fear, When you start making picks, when you start worrying too much about whether one pick wins or loses, desperation, just something about desperation that never seems to work. Um, you're never going to take underdogs. You're always just going to try to go for the obvious thing, and there really is no obvious thing. Sometimes I look at plays like, for example, yesterday I had the Oakland Athletics plus 190. They lost 3-2. I took them on the money line. They lost 3-2. They had the bases loaded in the ninth inning. That's a play that lost, but that's a play that I would make again. 'Cause if you're looking at it, yeah, if you're just looking at that one game to save your life, if you're in a situation without a bankroll, you're going to look at every game like that. But if you're looking over the course of, making 50 picks, making 500 picks, making 5,000 picks, you're going to have a lot of losses and a lot of wins, and you're really just concerned about the long-term body of work. So point being, what I'm trying to say, pick out an amount of money that you're comfortable with, not relying on, and make that your bankroll. My advice, the biggest lock that you see that you just think cannot lose, the most sure thing that you just love with every piece of your being, 5%. No more than 5%. I recommend really being in that 1 to 2% range, maybe 1 to 3%. You could even do less than a percent on plays, but never more than 5%. For me, most of my plays are going to really be in that 2.5, 3% range overall. If you start with, say you start with $10,000, you have your unit size based off the percentage. My advice, once you raise that 10,000 to 12,000, then you can redo your percentages. If it falls down to 8,000, you could redo your percentages, and you can adjust the math accordingly. Obviously, the bigger your bankroll is, the more you can make, and also the more that you can lose. So that's the most important thing. Have a bankroll. Don't worry about what other people are wagering. Instead of thinking amounts, think of percentages for you. Not going to really talk about parlays on here because it's not something that I'm big on. In college football, you have the favorites win, big favorites win outright at a higher percentage clip than in other sports. So a lot of times I will do some money line cupcake parlays where I'll maybe put 5 to 10 huge favorites together and kind of do it to form one big bet. A lot of times, though, I don't even like putting those out. People have thoughts and things like that, but so a lot of times something I do personally. I can put it out, have mixed reviews on those, but anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. And let me go ahead and start with this game goes at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. And this is an English Premier Soccer League game. And, if I'm not the tightest with all my info, this is a write-up that I did all by myself. But I'm not the biggest, when it comes to some of the lingo with the Premier League. I am a work in progress. I've done some soccer coaching, but at the youth level. So we're going to be looking here at, for this matchup here, we're going to be looking at Burnley versus Sunderland. This one going at 10:30 a.m. Burnley finished second in the EFL last season with a 28-16-2 record. They've been, they advanced. Now they're playing up higher in the English Premier League. They were dominant. They had a plus 53 goal differential on this season, and they allowed just 16 goals, only 16 goals in 46 matches. That was 14 fewer than any other team, and they also posted 30 clean sheets, which are shutouts. On the other side, Sunderland finished fourth. They were 21 13-12. They earned a promotion as well. But in recent history, we got Sutherland holds a slight edge. But the last time that these two teams met, it was a 0-0 nil draw in January. Brunley enters this with more experience, but their top scorer from last season, Josh Brownhill, he's departed, and that's a major blow. They already had a pretty conservative offensive attack, and we've only seen one total combined goal scored in the last 3 head-to-head meetings between these clubs. So, with the defense is still solid, Brownhill gone. I love the under here. I locked this in earlier during the week at under 2.5, and it's a little more juice now, but I've got it at under 2.5. And if you want to know, as far as I said, I had it locked in earlier in the week. Yeah, you can check that out over on winnable.com/David Delano. I'm on a lot of different platforms. I'm just going to shout them all out really, really quickly. But you can go and check out the winnable.com/David Delano. If you want to get more plays, no pressure. But right now, I do have a substantial discount going on my Winnable page if you want to get locked in until the beginning of October. You can also find picks over on hitthepick.com, a site that I'm a co-owner of. Over there, you can check me out on winningcappers.net, winnersandwhiners.com, picksandparlays.net. Also, if you're a Discord person, you can check me out over on OddsShopper as well. All of those different platforms, and I'm on X at Get Sports Strong, along with Instagram at Get Sports Strong. All right, so now that we got the bankroll management stuff out the way, which is probably the most important thing you're going to hear in this entire video, in the English Premier Soccer, let's go ahead and get into an MLB pick here. And I've got an article about this up over on winnersandwhiners.com. We're going to look at the Kansas City Royals going up against the Detroit Tigers. Tigers got the win yesterday. I like Kansas City, though, in this spot. I like Kansas City on the money line plus 110. The Detroit Tigers, they sit on top of the American League right now. But, they're comfortable in the AL Central. I think they're going to have some slip-ups right now. Kansas City really fighting. They're on the outside right now of a wild card berth, but they're close. They got Michael Wacha on the mound. Wacha's pitched very well against the Tigers this season. The Royals have won both games that he started against the Tigers. Kansas City's also won the last 5 games that Wacha has started overall. Got Chris Paddock going for the Tigers. They acquired him at the deadline from the Twins. He's had a rough season. And the teams he's pitched on, because he hasn't been with the Tigers all season, but the teams he's pitched on have lost 12 out of his last 16 starts. We're going back to Kansas City Royals. So first pick for this video, we got Brunley versus Sutherland, under 2.5. Second pick, we got the Kansas City Royals on the money line, plus 110. I mentioned you can check out premium picks over on winningcappers.net. All right, let's go ahead and talk a little college football. I've got my best bet on all of the sites that I mentioned. I also have a max best bet. If you were to check out my premium picks, I've got one other Major League Baseball pick right now that I gave that Royals and Tigers, Royals plus 110. I do have a max of 5% play that I love today that you could check out on the sites as well. College football best bet. I've got one up over on the sites. I didn't want to do too much with these games, and if you check out Sports Grid today, around between 1, like I said, I'll post what time I'm going to be on there. We'll dive a little bit more into some of these games. Hawaii, Hawaii and Stanford. A lot of sharp guys that I know that I've collaborated with and talked to. Most of them seem to be leaning towards Hawaii. I've been leaning towards Stanford a little bit, but I will say I don't have an official wager on that game. I don't really love Stanford enough to go against it to really go against the grain on that one. Hawaii last season was a little bit underwhelming in that first game against a horrendous Delaware State team. Now Delaware State's taken over by Deshaun Jackson. He wasn't the coach there last season, though. I will say, though, my play for the Iowa State versus Kansas State game that's up over on the site is going to be on the side. I am leaning on the under 51 in this game. That's lean. Also leaning on Sam Houston State plus the 10. Feels like a lot of points, but week one also wouldn't be surprised if Western Kentucky just completely blew them out. But I am leaning on Sam Houston State in that game. As far as the NFL preseason goes, couple plays, couple articles that I had written as well. A couple things too before I get into these NFL picks. I need to go ahead and plug a little bit. I know I mentioned I'm not a big parlay guy, but for those of you who are into, I do like playing player props. There's a few different sites I use. One, if you're in a state that has DABBLE, DABBLE, you can download DABBLE. Use promo code David Delano. Going to be in the description. You'll get a free $10 just to play with if you want to start playing with that $10, or if you want to start with $100 account, whatever you want to do, but start with that $10, and man, just put $1 a play on there. 2 out of the last 3 days, and I took a little break from it. 2 out of the last 3 days, we've hit our player prop parlays over on DABBLE, and the great thing about DABBLE is really, you can just follow me on DABBLE for free. Everything on there, once you join, just follow David Delano. You can tell plays, and everything's free. But if you do sign up, appreciate if you use my promo code. Also, BetR Picks, you can check that out. Link in the description with BetR. They got a great promotion over there. You can use promo code STRONG, or with Underdog, you can also use promo code David as well. So all that's in the description if you're kind of looking for some bonus money for these props. So let's go ahead and talk some football here. Preseason football, very, 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 very low wagers. Don't blow your bankroll before you go into the season. But we're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins now. Miami, this is going to be a tune-up for the regular season. They're using this as a tune-up, and Jacksonville is not going to be playing any of their starters. So with that being said, this is also it's the only really opportunity to play in front of their home fans in the preseason. So you got an advantage at quarterback with the Miami Dolphins with Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers, and Tua as well, going up against the backups for the Jags. And Miami's already looked better in the preseason here, so I like Miami here -6. It's a lot to lay, but sometimes we start to see more blowouts in this week 3. That Browns game, I'm staying away from. That line has got a little bit out of control now. Browns 8.5-point favorite. Would like the Browns in the first half, but a lot of books don't even let you get those first half lines. Also, looking at the under, I don't love it, but looking at the under 39.5 in the same game between Miami and Jacksonville. I have high expectations for the Miami Dolphins offense in this game, but not so much for Jacksonville. I think that Miami is going to put in some work early, get on the board, and then kind of cruise. So I do think that this one goes under the total of 39 in this game. And then also looking at Tampa Bay going up against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills had a very, very poor showing. Lost 38-0 in their last game against the Chicago Bears. They're on Hard Knocks. You've seen the coaches really tearing into them on that platform. So they're favorites. I guess the national, fan base is expecting them to bounce back from that embarrassment. But Tampa Bay 2-0 here in the preseason. And I don't think I can really get behind the Bills as a favorite in this spot. I like the Buccaneers at the plus 2.5. Yeah, I know it's just preseason, only 2 games, but Bills defense has given up a league worst 462 yards per game in the preseason. Yeah, can't get behind that. Going up against on the other side, you've got a Buccaneers defense that's been sensational. So we're gonna go with the Bucks plus 2.5. Very, very small leads here for the preseason. We're going to go Bucks plus 2.5. We're going to go Miami Jacksonville under 39. And we're also going to go with Miami -6. Check out those plays over on Winnable / David Delano for plays not listed in this video. Check out those plays over on winningcappers.net. Thanks so much for watching. And follow me on X at Get Sports Strong as well. Most important thing that I said at the beginning, make sure to wager responsibly. No, it's late. Thanks so much for bearing with me. And follow me, and I will let you know where I'm talking some football at today. God bless and good luck.